One of the essay question prompts that you might see on test day is called advantages, disadvantages. There are actually two different types of this question prompt. One where you describe both sides, and one where you choose a side that wins the argument. Let's look at the balanced evaluation first. Discuss the advantages and the disadvantages. The first advantages, disadvantages type question prompt will look something like this on test day. There are instructions above and below the question prompt. These tell us to spend about 40 minutes on this task, write more than 250 words, and use reasons and examples. The question prompt itself is in the middle. It says, English language tests are increasingly becoming computer-based. What are the advantages and disadvantages of taking an English language test on a computer? You can see the words advantages and disadvantages written explicitly in the question prompt, so we know what type of essay we have to write. This question prompt is asking you to do two things. First, discuss the advantages. Second, discuss the disadvantages. If you look closely, it says discuss the advantages and the disadvantages, which means you need to discuss both sides. This particular question prompt does not ask you which side you think has better arguments. It simply asks you to write a balanced discussion looking objectively at both sides. Let's look at the other type of prompt because there's an important difference. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? The other type of question prompt will look similar. It will include the words advantages and disadvantages, but it will be phrased slightly differently. Here's an example. English language tests are increasingly becoming computer-based. Do you think the advantages of computerized English language tests outweigh the disadvantages? This question prompt is also asking you to discuss the advantages and disadvantages, but the key word outweigh asks you to choose a side, to decide whether the advantages are more significant than the disadvantages or not. Recap. So we learned that there are two different types of question prompts related to advantages and disadvantages. One asks you to evaluate both sides. The other asks you to go one step further to decide which side is more substantial. To succeed on test day, you'll need a structure, practice, and feedback. Watch the methods lesson to learn how to structure these essays correctly, and if you need extra help, you can always take a one-on-one tutorial with one of our expert teachers.